The Quebec firefighter found guilty of brutally beating his girlfriend for hours on the morning of New Year's Day of 2015 is sentenced today. Mesa County Sheriff's officials say that Deputy Derek Gear is in the same condition as he was yesterday, still being kept on life support to, quote, perform one last selfless act of service by donating his organs. We're being told that by those who are close to Derek Gear. Now, his wife, Kate, did release a statement earlier today saying in part, quote, our hearts are broken. As mentioned earlier, Wilkerson is no stranger to the law. According to the Court of Appeals of Texas 1st District in Houston, Wilkerson was on death row in Texas. Authorities are releasing more information today tied to an armed robbery in Grand Junction last night that led to a carjacking and then a high-speed pursuit in Garfield County. And we're also getting our first look at two of the suspects in the incident. A man is behind bars tonight following a tense situation here in Mesa County. Grand Junction police say early Tuesday morning they responded to an incident in the area of Mesa Mall. The Mesa County Sheriff's Office makes 3 separate arrests in just one day for possession of methamphetamine. We have a traffic alert for you. The Colorado Department of Transportation announces there will be intermittent stops on I-70 within Glenwood Canyon tomorrow for helicopter drops. After receiving several reports from community members, the Mesa County Sheriff's Department is warning the community about a warrant scam hitting the area. Whether a bill being discussed at the state capitol dealing with student vaccinations passes or not, changes will be coming to District 51 for vaccination reports starting July 1st. It's an exciting evening for one Western Slopina. She makes her big debut on primetime right here on American Idol on Fox. Geneve Mitchell lives with her family near Crawford, off the grid in a 5th-wheel trailer with no electricity. She has been singing since she was 2 years old and began learning a variety of string instruments a year later. The sun's gone down, but the lights are up and the runs remained open this evening at Powderhorn Mountain Resort for this year's night skiing event. We're learning more about the 61-year-old man arrested in Gateway last Sunday, accused of kidnapping and sexual assault. 8 months after the Delta Montrose Electric Association was told they were obligated to use local renewable energy sources, their wholesale supplier, Tri-State Transmission, is seeking legal action after possible lost revenue from those local sources. Standardized testing has been under fire here in Mesa County for School District 51 ever since last year, and students were subjected to Colorado Measure of Academic Success Tests, or CMAS, through the Partnership for the Assessment of Readiness for College and Careers, or PARC platform. Now, if the name alone isn't overwhelming, the number of weeks students spent testing was. With 8 weeks and a new format, administrators expected test scores to be on the lower end, but they didn't expect the resistance from students. I found out what's ahead for this testing season in this special report.
I wish I wouldn't have had to.
My initial reaction was I didn't want to do it.
The 2014-2015 school year was the first time School District 51 used the PARC platform for CMAS standardized testing. And to say things got off to a rough start seems like a bit of an understatement.
It was really hectic. We had problems with computers and everything. A lot of time that I could have been spending in class instead of taking those tests.
8 weeks of testing, the first time taking on computers, and a number of students, including the school board president's child, choosing to opt out, meant changes were in store this time around.
So this year, testing is cut in half.
Lori Westfall, the Director of Instructional Data Services for the district, has been evaluating last year's testing structure, scores, and participation rates.
We usually have at least a 95% participation rate, and last year it dropped, I'm going to say, probably to about 83.
But why did certain students want to opt out? Did they just want to get out of another test, or was it something else?
It took us out of our class time and time that I could have spent using learning new material. This test wasn't going to do anything for me in particular. I think that my education and my time is more valuable.
Despite how she felt, her mom convinced her to take the test. Her classmate Alex Blackford, however, did not.
With it not being the graduation requirement, I didn't really see the point.
But to Westfall and the district, there is a point. Being able to evaluate the district education system as a whole and look at the big picture.
You only had 15 kids at one school take the assessment, and then you had 50 at another. You can't really say, okay, as a system, this is where we need to go.
So I asked Alex, Did he realize if he had taken the test, it could impact his future education?
I do understand. I understand that it's district funding and it's school funding and it's school prestige. However, I don't think that the CMAS test was the way to do it. I think it was too hastily prepared. I don't think many kids did as well as they could have.
Now testing is just 4 weeks at the end of the year rather than 8. Technological improvements have been made to streamline the process, and now teachers and students have a better idea of what to expect.
Just look at it as an opportunity for your kid to share the great stuff that happens in the District 51 schools.
In terms of performance-based learning, is this going to look different for students in the classroom in terms of what they're doing and how they're learning? I mean, I guess if kids come home from school and tell their parents, oh, we're performance-based learning now, are they going to see anything different or not really?
I think that
And then for parents who have students going through the District 51 school system, is there anything they can do to help facilitate this at home in terms of the way they approach homework or something like that that can kind of keep that going throughout their years?
I think initially there may not